What is going on, you guys? Deontxy here, and today I'm going to be giving you how I personally edit my Instagram photos on Lightroom. Stay tuned. Alright, so I know I always have something like this before the video, but before the video, I just want to say I apologize for not uploading consistently at all. I don't have an excuse this time. I just haven't been doing it, and that's my fault. Because I really don't know why I haven't been uploading. But, and yes, I know I say but every time, and then I say the same thing I'm about to say. But I'm going to start uploading more consistently. You see the sincerity in my face as I say that? That means this time I'm serious. Now, but for real, I'm really going to start uploading more for you guys. Because there's content that I want to make, and there's content that I know you guys want from me. So therefore, I'm going to do my best to put it out there as quickly as possible. That being said, let's get over into the video. Let's go over to Lightroom. Alright, so we are now in Lightroom, and I'm going to go ahead and add a picture that is unedited of me so you guys can go ahead and see exactly how I edit my pictures. Alright, so this isn't a picture in daylight, this is an inside picture, but the settings I apply you can easily change depending on whatever type of lighting you have. But for this lighting, what I most likely do every single time is I turn down the exposure. After that, I turn up the contrast. It doesn't really matter, whatever looks good to you is where you turn it up. Usually I think about 25 looks good and negative 0.45 looks good on the exposure. Then I used to turn my highlights all the way down, but actually nowadays I'm turning my highlights down just a little bit so you can see the colors, because personally I don't really think this looks good anymore. So, you know, keeping the colors up against behind me, or not the colors but the lighting, the white lights. So next I go ahead and, depending on how dark the picture happens to be, I either turn up the shadows or turn down the shadows. In this depiction, this picture is pretty well lit, so I go ahead and turn down the shadows. Not by that much, just a little bit so you notice. Then on the whites, I actually recently have been turning them up as well. So I'll go ahead and turn up the whites, not too much, but I turn them up just a good amount. 50 is about good in this situation to me. And my blacks I also turn down, not too much, because usually if you turn it down too much, they'll start to defeat the purpose of you bringing up the shadows or bringing up the white. So I just go ahead and bring it down just a little bit, like -8 is around a good space for that. So then I go ahead and I skip the tone curve most of the time, but sometimes I do use this, you know, add a little bit of adjustments here, but it's basically the same thing that I can do up here with the highlights and stuff like that. So I usually just leave it alone. Then I go on to the color. In this scenario specifically, some people would say that moving it to the right will look better, but personally I like a colder look, so I'm going to go ahead with the blue look. So you don't want to turn it up too high, because once you do that, it starts to like it starts to do that. So basically I'm just going to turn it up just a little bit so that the whites kind of change into a bluish white, cool white, stuff like that. And then if I can go ahead and bring the colors up. Usually if I'm bringing it down to the blue colder side, then I go ahead and turn the purples up, because usually that's what looks better. You know, green and blue aren't really going together that well, but purple and blue, yeah, they kind of make a new violet color. So yeah, I kind of like how that looks. So usually I go ahead and go with that. I turn the vibrance up, then I leave the saturation where it is. Then I go down to the color mixer, and when I'm in the color mixer, I go ahead and I turn the reds up to a 30, the oranges up to 30, and in most situations I turn the yellow down, but it doesn't really do anything in this situation. But in the presets, the yellow will be down, because the yellows in pictures are what I most likely always take out. Like, there are really rare instances where I ever leave yellow in. Then I would also, depending on the picture, whether it's outside, behind, nature, or something like that, depending on what I'm going for, most of the time when I'm going for the moody look, I go ahead and bring the greens down, because that would bring out the color in the background of the trees or the grass, something like that. Then for the blues, I go ahead and I change that, or the light blues, I go ahead and change that to 30. Depending on the picture, I would change the blues to 30 or bring them down all the way to 100. In this instance, I'm bringing them up. In this instance, I'm gonna bring the purples up, and in this instance, I'm gonna bring the pinks up as well. So in all of those, I put them for 30 plus. So this is what the difference will be. It's not that big of a difference, but it makes a difference to me, so I'll go ahead and do it. Then I bring my clarity up to around 15, and then I bring my vignette down to -10. And then yeah, that's how I edit my pictures on Lightroom. Most of the time these settings apply to the pictures that I took all the time that day, so I'll just copy and paste them, and you guys can go ahead and do the same thing with this preset that I'm leaving for you guys for free in the description below. In the near future, I'm going to be starting up a Sellfy store, whether it's before this video drops or after this video drops. Regardless, in the description below, I'm going to have a link for you guys to download this preset for absolutely free, whether that be on Sellfy or whether that be on Google Drive or Mediafire or something like that. I will have it down for you guys in the description below, no matter what I'm using. And yeah, that's going to be all for today's video. If you guys like today's video, I want you to go ahead, hit it up with a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you. Stay creative. Peace.